Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Master of Ceremonies, Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, Minister Matthew Samuda, Minister of Portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Members of Parliament, Minister Favour Williams, and of course, Julian Robert Robinson. Other ministry officials, Bacchus Engineering Works Limited or contractors, Fluid Systems Engineering Limited or design consultants, other guests, National Water Commission team members, colleagues, you all are. Today, the National Water Commission welcomes you to the ceremonial commencement of another of our infrastructure development projects. And while there is a potable water component, this initiative is focused on the oftentimes neglected side of our mandate, that of providing wholesome service for the collection, treatment, and safe disposal of sanitary wastewater. The ongoing boom which we can see around us in land development projects, whether they may be for residential, resort, business sales, services, have lent importance to the symbiotic relationship between the National Water Commission as a utility provider and the promoters of these projects. An expansion of the central sewerage network results in an increase in the allowable habitable rooms per floor space and the inevitable increase in population density in an urban setting makes the operations and maintenance of a central sewerage system more viable for us, a utility provider. However, despite what sounds like a win-win situation, there are still many hurdles which we have to cross in doing these works, in formulating, planning, developing, and implementing these works. Not all of us see the benefits of multifamily property developments, nor are we prepared, and here I pause, nor are we prepared to put up with sewer trench excavations which for practical purposes are aligned down the middle of our driving routes, with of course the cross connections for property laterals. Again, as most sewers are designed for gravity flow, they tend to be fairly deep. And the depth of the excavation, which makes it a more difficult working environment with the attendant safety concerns. And it also makes it a little bit more difficult to ensure that we compact and consolidate the trench fill. And of course, that leads to the risk and the complaints about future road subsidence. Well, so much for the hydraulic engineering lesson. Just to say that sewer installation works in the corporate area has historically been not welcomed with open arms. However, I must say that over the years, there have been a number of positives which we can draw on. Of course, the most important one is the public imagery and the communication with our communities, the communication with our partners in the communities. The NWC over the years has allocated substantial resources to address any inverse impacts from these works. And while there are still a few complaints from particularly a very vigilant community located to our east, we have established very close working relationships with those communities, as the Member of Parliament for Mona Heights will attest to. and the acceptance of the mutual benefit between ourselves and the communities, and the degree of responsiveness from the National Water Commission has vastly improved. Works we carry out directly with specific land developers, emanating from an assessment of the water and wastewater service application process, and in line with the government of Jamaica's, not DOJ, but Efficiency, Innovation and Digital Transformation Initiative, we have defined an improvement plan for the land development application process. And this has been formulated and is being implemented to, one, improve the workflow process guided by our stakeholder consultations, the workflow process for people making application for these services. We have also instituted the updating of our master plans or master development plans and the development manuals which are associated with these plans to guide the persons who will be responsible for applying for services and implementing those services. 3, we have instituted contractual conditions to govern, and this is very critical, govern work in public thoroughfares. Quite a few of you would have encountered a lot of issues with private developments working in public thoroughfares, and that has resulted in a significant negative impact both on ourselves, the government in general, and the public. And finally, we are defining a mechanism for the proper sharing of the capital costs for implementing these works. The National Water Commission shares some of the costs with either developers, and developers share costs with other developers. So it is really critical that we get it right so everybody feels as if they are paying their fair share for what the infrastructure being installed. I won't take up much more time, just to make one more point, and that relates to the partnership arrangements for the development of our contractors. What we see here today, this is a local contractor, Bacchus Engineering Works Limited. The works yard well set out, the works yard well organized. Their organization on the site leaves very little to be required. The development of their organization expertise and the capacity is something which a lot of our other partners in the construction industry can pull on. And I must say that we anticipate that the other medium-sized contractors who have worked alongside Bacchus Engineering, perhaps in some works to the east, will learn something from how they have organized themselves and how they will perform. We look forward to them making the work effort, the impact on the populace, minimum adverse impact. We anticipate that, and we look forward to working along with them to ensure that. The National Water Commission looks forward to continuing the development of water and wastewater infrastructure. We look forward to continuing the collaborative partnerships with our suppliers, our contractors, and design professionals. And most importantly, we look forward to improving the relationship with the publics who are the main purpose of our existence. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention.